Don't be nervous, bro. What's wrong with you, bro? It's so good. Come on, what we doing here?
Who's nervous, man? I'm talking to a friend right now.
Yo, what's going on, man? All right, let's go. Well, awesome. Oh, come on, let me shut this off. Hold on. I get nervous too, bro. I'm like, man. All right, cool. Goodness.
Oh man, it's just us at the happy hour.
Cool. Welcome, man. It's awesome. I'm so happy to kind of be able to hang out with you today. Kind of, you actually my second guest so far. So I've been kind of doing some little bit of upgrades going on. You know, my light is working well. I got a microphone set up over here on my shirt. I'm hoping it sounds better than before. So I'm looking for this to improve. And I tell you, one of the things that I found when I went to the playback of the video that I did previously was I was being shown and not two people. So I'm hoping that this video will have that same look of both of us being on the screen versus just one. Not sure, but anyway, man. So how are you, man? How's it going? And just tell me your name. Even though I know it, but you know where you're from and where you live right now.
Ooh. So obviously you know my name, Francisco Mantilla. Where I'm from, wow, man. Where I was born is New York. I know you're from New York. Where I lived most of my life, South Florida. So if you ask me, I'm probably gonna say I'm from South Florida.
That's right.
Where COVID has taken me in life, I've been in Prosper, Texas, for about coming up on a year in November.
Wow. What? I know why, but you know, just tell some of the people. Why would you leave Miami? And go to Texas? Are you crazy? Who does that? You know. So, but again, unless you're a big a Dallas Cowboy fan or something like that, or a Houston Texan. Well,
Yeah.
why would you go to? Why would you leave Miami? I'm curious.
So my beautiful wife, you know, she works for European Wax Center. They relocated to Plano, Texas,
Nice.
and you know made a decision, made a family decision. This was best for our family, and you know took the leap. You know, it's when you move somewhere, it's not like it's not permanent. We're always going to have a home in South Florida, but
Right.
you know, we decided to take that leap, and we've been extremely happy since.
You know what's weird is that you know, upon me talking to many people as I'm doing this, I'm going with a lot of entrepreneurs, people in the world of business, of creating their own wealth. A lot of them have a partner that's actually working somewhere. You know, and that kind of makes it like, makes it less, more of a, it's not as risky, even though it is risky, right? For people. And it's awesome to hear that that trend even still occurs, as we're having a conversation. Some people just go all out and say, I'm leaving, which is crazy, but maybe they're successful or not. I haven't met them yet, but I'm sure that I look forward to do that as I look to invite people to come on board with us, man. So cool, man. So tell me about your family background. Like, what do they do, or what did they do? Because I'm gonna wind up asking about what you do for a living in a minute, which we all know. I know you're with Edward Jones, you're a wealth advisor. So tell me, what is your family background? What is your family you came from? What made you because I'm gonna ultimately ask you, why are you in wealth management? If your parents, if they were not on it, in it. So please, God, tell us where your family, what they do for a living.
So, mother and father. First, they're from Ecuador. They came from Ecuador to New York.
Right.
You know, just like every hardworking person, grinded it out 9 to 5.
Yep.
So right now, my dad is actually a pastor in Weston, and my mother's still working. So,
and just so everyone knows, that's Western Florida.
Western Florida, yeah.
Shout out to Western Florida. All right.
There you go. Got to shout out Western Florida.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? And I kind of want to say what got me into this was my grandfather. My grandfather, for what I remember, he's passed away, but he would always tell me, like, he would be like, you're gonna be a businessman, like you're gonna have $1 million. Like I would always remember that. And since I was little, like that kind of stuck with me. You know how you have little moments in your life when you have like these imprints. So from then on, like I was always about like budgeting, saving, something for the future. I would always kind of think 5, 10 years from now, like what a small goal would be. And I've always had a passion for the market, investing. So, I did my, went to FIU, got my finance degree, got my MBA at Nova in finance. So it was always like, I wanted to help individuals when it came to financial planning.
Right. Wow. And how about your mom? Is she a pastor also or no?
My mom, yeah. So my mom is also a pastor, but she also does work, and she's still working right now. But
So in other words, so everything led back to your grandfather then, that kind of was in the industry, well, not even in the industry. He kind of told you, man, you're like a business kind of a guy, and you kind of took that into your next steps in life and started moving. How long you been doing what you do? And why don't you tell us a little bit of what you do specifically?
so I work with individuals, a select group of individuals and family, and we partner together throughout their whole lifetime to make sure that they are able to retire. Not everyone has the ability to work with a financial advisor, so you gotta. There's a special criteria that I look for when looking for someone that wants to work with someone like me.
Right.
But it's kind of like what I just said. You got to look forward 5, 10 years from now. If you can ever imagine, we'll just use the number 65 because that's kind of what everyone says. But if you can imagine yourself being 65, that's the question I ask. What do you see yourself doing?
Right. That's a big question because people don't realize that. I mean, bro, people just they start creeping up. They don't realize you won't be able to go and do what you normally do, or you're not getting up to go to work. So where's life taking you? What are you going to be doing? So are you going to be able to go to Publix and buy that food, or supermarket, whatever it may be, Walmart and so on, because again, this is where people like you come into play. So you don't have to worry about that. And it's smart to think about that now. That's interesting. Wow, that's
Yeah.
great. I guess I would imagine that do you have any clients that are in that stage that have retired already because of the efforts you put into motion, or no, not yet?
So I do have clients living in retirement right now, and probably one of the most rewarding phone calls that I get are from them, expressing, you know, thank you for, especially during COVID, thank you for what you've done. Thank you for keeping my income, where it is. Because one of the things that, you got to plan for in retirement is the fun things that you're going to do. So it's different for everyone, but, what if you want to, take an Alaskan cruise once a year?
Yeah.
We got a budget for that, and to be able to say, okay, we budgeted for that. This is when, you're going to receive these funds, send me a picture from the boat. Rewarding, that's what I live for right there.
That's what's up. So let me ask you this question then. So we are currently like, I want to say we're ending the pandemic, but you can't, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen. The president was just diagnosed. Now he's back in the White House. And I mean, the news is just going crazy with all this COVID stuff. So, this COVID thing, what was like before COVID in your business? Like what was normal as far as running your business?
Oh man, I feel old saying this, but it's like saying back in the day.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm old school, I guess. That's funny. I like to shake people's hands. I like to sit in front of them, enjoy a cup of coffee, getting to know someone. And you really can't do that anymore. I mean, if you do that, you have to, be 6 feet away. You have to have a mask on. It's like before COVID, networking, be in front of people, shaking hands. Just, that's old school now. I don't know when that's going to come back to normal, but
Right.
I kind of miss that.
I do. I agree with you 100%. So, but so before COVID, I guess you were going to events, right? That's what it sounds like. You were kind of just kind of being out there and doing the hustle and bustle. I know you personally. I know you're, I like calling. I think a hustler is not a bad name. When I say, man, you're a hustler. Hustler to me is someone that's on their way to go get it. It's
Yeah.
not just a person that's hustling out there. You're actually not just hustling. You're not just doing it. You're doing it. You're hustling out there to make sure you get it done. And I kind of appreciate people like that because I'm a hustler. I'm like here to what I got to do. Like what I
Yeah.
want to do. So let me ask you now that here we are. So much 9 months in, life after COVID, or while we kind of because America's trying to get back to normal
Yeah.
trying, and there'll be a point where we will start even opening up more and more and more and more. What is life after COVID during this time? Now or during the ending times, or what we don't know what we want to call it. What is life now like?
I mean, people are dipping their toe in, so people are more open to kind of meeting in person for the cup of coffee, maybe happy hours eventually. But it's like the world has changed.
Yes, it does.
If you don't pivot, you're not going to survive, especially in if you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
You got to find new and creative ways to still get in front of people and build relationships.
yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree. So, and that's how I see the exact same thing. So, let me ask you this then. So, let's say, for example, a year ago, prior to COVID, right, this whole thing, and you had, what would you tell yourself 1 year ago? As far as what advice would you give yourself, if any, before, it's a year ago? Let's say we're in October 2020. Let's say in October 2019. What advice, knowing what you've experienced, what would you do, and a year ago to help your business? Because again, now you're going to try to make it. I want to say the word COVID proof. So again, so knowing what you know, what would you do differently? I'm sorry. What would you do a year ago for your business?
To be honest, I would probably tell myself to ask for more referrals within my book of business right now, to be able to take a deeper dive into the friends and family of my current book. Reason being because I during COVID, I spent a good time doing that, and I found that the people that I'm currently working with are my ideal clients, and my ideal clients hang out with other ideal clients.
Right.
And that's how pretty much I've been growing right now organically. So, I should have told myself that a year ago to get that process started, but you know, in a good way, COVID happened, and that's kind of it forced me to do that, which is good.
Get out of your comfort zone, I guess, right? A little bit. Well, all of us, because it definitely took us out of our comfort zone.
Yeah, if you get comfortable, then you're not hustling. I think you got to be uncomfortable at times.
I totally agree with you, man, 100%. But that was a great answer, man. We almost finished here, by the way. So I guess that how do you market yourself today? Like, what are you doing today in this day and age to market your business, your what strategy are you? We're not revealing anything, but there's people on the opposite side of this watching this video. They're like, man, what would someone like, what would someone in this field or in this kind of field do to try to market their business? And I know that someone in your field, you have a lot of limitations where you can't just, let me put some Google ads, let me do social media, whatever, so on, because you're in that industry. So how, would you, if you can give someone the advice on how to market, or what are you doing to market, would you be able to share that with us?
Yeah, so I join a lot of I'm in groups. I'm active in the community. Um, I go on Facebook. Started a couple Facebook groups, and
So you
to be
actually started Facebook groups,
yeah, I've started some
right?
Facebook.
Right.
Basic. Hey, if you want to learn about investing, and we'll talk investments.
Right.
People like people like tips, on certain things. But mainly it's being visible in the community. Um, I'm a firm believer in copy and paste. So I have a mentor that he's like, listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing things that I find enjoyable, and that's how you meet people. So I love hanging out with my family.
Right.
I have a 4-year-old turning 5.
Wow.
I take him to the park. I take him to the pool, and other parents are there. I start a conversation that way. But um, I recently started golfing a year ago. You
Wow.
know,
Nice.
uh, you meet people golfing. It's just doing things that I find enjoyable, but also working at the same time.
Yeah.
So
It's not work, right? It's not work. It's just, do what you're doing. That's it.
yeah. Look what I'm doing right now, man. I'm talking to you. I'm having fun. And we're talking about work, and we're getting to know each other. So that's all. My business is all about getting to know people. Building relationships for the long term. So
Awesome.
yeah, man, I'm doing things that are fun.
Right, exactly. No, I believe me, man. I'm one to tell you the same thing. I love to have fun, bro. So but I must say that there was a time that I was so scared when I know that I couldn't afford this or that, and again, there's times I'm like thinking, am I gonna be good? And I'm like, I look at my book of business, my current and my previous, and what's going on in my phone calls. I'm like, I'm fine. It's just me. I'm putting barriers on myself, and I'm like, well, stop it, right? If I was working, because I thought about this. If I was literally working a job and I don't perform, I get fired. If you're working your business and you don't perform, you get fired.
Yeah.
So it's easy. It's again. So awesome, awesome, awesome. So one more question, and we are done, man. See, this is pretty easy, right? So the last thing would be, this is a hypothetical. So let's say if you had $1,000, okay? Now again, think about the other person on the opposite side of this. They may not have it, or they may have it, and they don't know what to do. They don't know where to start. If you had $1,000 to spend on your business, what would you use that $1,000 for? So again, something from the sky says, here you go, Mr. Francisco, here's this money, but this can only be used for your business, nothing else. What would you use that $1,000 for in your industry?
$1,000 for something on marketing purposes.
I would imagine marketing purpose, whatever that may be to you, because to people it's different. It could be around the golf, 100 golfs, whatever, so on. But it's also in the same category for your business.
I wish I could still. I wish I can do this now, but I would set up a lunch and learn, several of them as much as possible. That's invite someone about to learn on a certain topic,
Yeah.
or take them a round of golf. Take 3 people, and spend it on something fun.
That's right. Fun while you're actually still working or networking, because people don't realize that those efforts turn into sales and turn into more sales and referrals. Again, to utilize it to the best of your ability that and some people know things that are different. So and I get it. I definitely do get it. So um, so what did you think about this time that we had today? What are your thoughts on what we just did, as we're wrapping up our time?
It's a fun time talking to you, right? I miss our Thursdays,
Yeah.
figuring out who's going to bring the coffee, who's doing the 10-minute presentation.
Yeah, I know, man. I do.
The old days.
I miss you as well, brother, very much. And I must say that it's just weird, how this whole began, this whole process. I think I talked to you about doing something like this, like a podcast kind of deal, or have these conversations and record them. Because I'm in the digital marketing world, right? And everyone's first answer is like, oh, social media, oh, Google, whatever. That's the first answer, right? And that's not necessarily true. I'm not doing this to try to gain more new business right now. I'm not. I really am not. I'm trying to do this so people can understand that it's not just what you put into it. It's what you put out of it. And if you put all your efforts into something in any industry, you will succeed.
Yeah.
You will have your bumps in the road. You will have those rough times, those, just like anything else, just like a regular job. And I don't think people understand that. For the businesses that I deal with, I have the great opportunity of dealing with a lot of business owners, good, bad, and really that don't know what they're doing. So just to be able to, and I've seen that, just be able to sit here and talk to someone that I know that's a hustler, successful, trying to do the best you can, So I measure success by someone that's able to live their business. I measure that success. And some people just decide not to do a job while they're doing their business, which is fine as well. But the fact that they have that option, that's success to me. I see that as. So, well, before I close this out, is there anything you want to tell our audience? Because this is not just for people in Texas or in Florida, So this is going to be on YouTube, which is a worldwide audience, and people will find our stuff. So, tell me, what would you want to tell that person that's watching this video before I close this out?
I would say, if you know anyone that is looking to be educated in the financial industry, reach out to a professional. It's hard to find people that you can trust when it comes to your financial. And same thing with you, right? You build relationships with your clients. You build that trust because you're handling their social media and essentially bringing clients to them. That's a huge trust that they put into you. I always tell people when it comes to a financial advisor, get a second opinion, get a third opinion. It's who is basically right for you and your family. So that's what I would tell them. Second opinions, but whoever's good for your family.
Awesome. Well, Francisco, thank you so much for your time today, man. This was like, man, awesome. And for you guys that are out there, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with us today. I'm not sure how long we went, but I don't think it went too long. I hope you enjoy this. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the video, and just on the information for myself or Francisco will be down in the show notes. So on that, guys, peace out and talk to you soon.